You know that feeling? You're in a movie theater, your stomach starts rumbling, but then you look at the snack line and think, nah, I'd rather just be hungry. It's such a small, common moment of stress, but it's exactly the kind of problem a design team decided to solve. So how do you take a frustration we've all had and turn it into a brilliant app? Let's get into it.
So why is buying movie snacks so stressful? I mean, it seems like a simple question, but the answer is actually pretty deep. You're there to relax, right? But suddenly your brain is firing on all cylinders. How long is that line really? Am I going to miss the previews? Is that giant popcorn even worth the price? It's this weird point of friction in what's supposed to be a fun night out.
And it turns out pretty much everyone feels this way. When researchers actually asked people, a staggering 80% said they'd much rather just order snacks right to their seat. But wait, that's not even the most telling number.
Now here's the real kicker. That hassle, it's not just a small annoyance, it's a total deal breaker. 60% of people admitted that they just skip buying snacks altogether because they can't be bothered with the line. That is a massive loss for theaters and, honestly, a lot of missed popcorn opportunities for us.
So when you boil it all down, it's not just one single thing. It's this perfect storm of problems. The whole experience feels way overpriced, it's a huge waste of time, and for some people, it's just plain inaccessible. This became the core challenge that the Snacc App needed to solve.
Big numbers like that, they're great for pointing out a problem, but they don't tell you how to solve it for an actual human being. For that, you got to zoom in. The team needed to find their ideal user, someone whose frustrations really captured what everyone else was feeling. So, let's meet her.
If it's not good for my body or wallet, I'll pass. This single thought. This is the key to understanding Kavya, the user persona they built this whole case study around. For her, every choice is this constant balancing act between having a good time and being responsible.
And if we dig a little deeper, we see the whole picture. Kavya is a 21-year-old student. She just wants to enjoy quality time with her friends, but she's always got one eye on her budget and the other on her health. And that tension between her goals and her frustrations, well, that makes her the perfect person to design for. Because if you can build an app that solves her problems, chances are you've just made things better for everybody.
Okay, so now they've got a really clear problem and a person to solve it for. The mission was officially on. And the goal wasn't just to, build an app. It was to follow a deliberate process that would guarantee the final product actually fixed Kavya's real-world needs. And here's how they mapped it out. Not some endless project, but a super tight 6-week design sprint. They went from understanding the user to brainstorming ideas to actually building a prototype. And then, the most important part, testing it. Every single step had a clear purpose.
The roadmap for this whole mission is a really powerful process called design thinking. It's pretty straightforward. You start with empathy, truly feeling what the user feels. Then you define their actual needs. You ideate, which is just a fancy word for brainstorming solutions. You build a prototype to make one of those ideas tangible. And then you test it. It's this amazing cycle of listening, building, and learning.
Part of that first step, the empathy part, meant looking at what the competition was doing. And this competitive audit, it uncovered a huge opportunity. All the other food apps out there were for general delivery, None of them were focused on the very specific, unique needs of a moviegoer, like ordering ahead with your ticket or getting something delivered right to your seat without causing a scene. There was a massive gap in the market just waiting to be filled.
All right, this next part is maybe the most crucial stage of all. Because a design is really just a guess, right? It's a theory until you put it in front of real people. So the team put their first prototype into users' hands to see what would break, what was confusing, and what actually, worked. And the feedback they got was super direct and incredibly valuable. It all pointed to two big roadblocks. First, the main navigation was just confusing people. And second, the checkout process felt clunky and it was just too much. It had what designers call a high cognitive load. It made people think too hard. So, problem number one. On the home screen, they had these two buttons, Order Now and Pre-Order, and users just weren't sure what to do. The fix was so simple, but so smart. They just moved that choice to the cart screen. By that point, the user has already decided what they want to buy. That's the perfect moment to ask them how they want to get it. And a second fix tackled that clunky checkout. The original screen was just too cluttered, and it was making people feel stressed. The solution? They moved all the payment stuff into a clean, simple overlay and added a lot more white space. It's a small visual change, but it makes a huge difference in lowering the stress of hitting that final buy button. So, after all of that research, all the design work, and all that crucial feedback from real users, here's the final product. This is the solution that was built from the ground up to solve those original frustrations of price, time, and just general hassle.
And look at how every feature directly solves a problem we talked about. The seat delivery, that gets rid of the long queues. The pre-ordering, that solves all that timing anxiety. Adding healthy and budget-friendly options, that speaks directly to our user Kavya. And that simple, easy-to-use interface is the direct result of listening to user feedback. Every single feature is there for a reason.
So what you end up with is an app that doesn't just work, it actually feels good to use. It's designed to be completely effortless, it removes the stress, and gives you back control so you can focus on what you came to do in the first place. Enjoy the movie.
You know, this entire project, this whole app, it all started because someone decided to take a small, everyday annoyance seriously. It just goes to show that the little things that bug us don't have to be permanent. So it makes you think, doesn't it? What's some common frustration in your life that's just waiting for its own brilliant design solution?